Hey everybody, and welcome back to Flippin' Profit. Today we're going to head off to a couple Goodwills and I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks and some items I found to help you be a more successful reseller. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So tip number one for my resellers out there, anytime Goodwill brings out carts to stock the shelves, stop what you're doing, go take a look. These are the items that haven't been picked over yet, so you have a lot better chance of finding something good. This first item here is an 8-quart power pressure cooker. Now it is red, so new, it was going for around $150. Obviously that one wasn't new. I couldn't find any used ones that were red, but there were plenty going for about $50 that were stainless steel, so I ended up leaving the red one. The next item I did actually bring home with me here is a 1.8 quart Chantel Onyx Black teapot. Now, for whatever reason, the color black sold a lot better than the other colors. You can see there Goodwill selling it for around $7.29. Black was going for around $60, but green and red and blue were only going for around $20. So I ended up picking this up. So heading on over to the electronics section, the first thing I found was this 14-cup Cuisinart food processor going for around $16 here at Goodwill. Now anything electronic, I have two tips for y'all. The first one is make sure it works. So at Goodwill, there's usually an outlet somewhere, and then at garage sales, there's usually an outdoor outlet you can test it. And then number two, make sure all the parts are there. This one, I didn't see the blade initially, but I did find it in the box. Once I checked those two boxes off, I actually picked this item up, and I'm thinking I can get around $100 for it based on the comps. So the second item I picked up here in the electronics section is a Snack Master dehydrator. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm a snacker myself, so leave me a comment below on what your favorite snack is so I can see what I'm missing out on. But you can see here, this item goes for about $8.49 at Goodwill here, and I'm thinking I'm going to get around $50 for it based on the comps. And based on how I run my business, anything around $10, I'm hoping to see at least $50 or I'll leave it. This next piece I thought was really cool. It was a vintage globe that actually had a barometer, thermometer, and hygrometer, so you could get the pressure, temperature, and the moisture in air all at once. Now it was going for around $12 here at Goodwill, and the price on the comps was only around $42, so I ended up leaving it. But in case you see one at a garage sale, I wanted to keep this in the video for y'all. So getting into the coffee cups, which isn't something I keep a bunch of on my store, but they're pretty easy to ship and they don't take up a lot of space. So if there's one that has a big enough price discrepancy, I will pick it up. And you can see here, I don't look at every single coffee cup. I just kind of go down the aisle, see what catches my eye. But one in the back that you'll see here in a second is a Dr. Finkelstein from Disney. And I only found one online. I even tried to take a Google picture of this, and only one came up, and it was the one that sold on eBay for $40. So this is one of the items that I'm willing to take a risk on, and if I have it for a few months to find that right buyer, I'm totally okay with that based on it only being $5. So this next item here is a St. Nicholas Warm Wishes Bowl. Now I can't stress enough, anytime you buy something breakable and has all this paint, just double check, make sure there's no chips, cracks, make sure the paint's not faded or that will significantly decrease your value. But you can see here it's going for about $25 on eBay, and Goodwill had it for $5.79, so I had to leave this one behind, but still a cool piece to see. So the first tip of the second store is actually to keep your head on a swivel. You never know what you're going to find and where you're going to find it. So this first item was hiding over here on these chairs, and it's actually a chef holding a chalkboard, which I thought was a really cool piece. So you could write, what's on the dinner menu for that night or even breakfast the next morning. But he was going for about $6.50 here at Goodwill, and the comps on him only showed about $30, so I had to leave him. But just a reminder or tip to, you never know what you're going to find, so don't just beeline it for one section and miss something good. One of the rules I live by as a reseller is vintage equals value. So anytime I see something that looks old, I just go ahead and throw it in the cart and scan it later just to make sure nobody else picks it up. But this is a 1973 Oster Automatics pulp ejector juicer, and you can see up top that manual is actually in there. So Goodwill had this going for around $7.99, and when I looked up the comps, it looked like it was going for around $70. So I went ahead and picked this up. Now, like I said, anything that's over 50 years old, electronic, make sure you test it before you leave the store because you don't want to buy something for $10 and then it not work when you get home. So a couple of other really good things to be on the lookout for. The first thing here is a Sony Dreamcast. So Sony is just a good brand in general to look out for. This one was too highly priced here at Goodwill, but at garage sales I've actually picked up some of these Dreamcasts for a couple of bucks and sold them for about $40–50. The next thing though, this is another 1970s item. It is a vintage Waring ice cream maker, and it goes for around $40. But here at Goodwill it was priced a little bit too high, but again, another item at garage sales if you find it for cheap, be something worth picking up. This next item is a plush, and I personally don't have a lot of luck with plush on my store, so leave me a comment below if you have success in what you're buying. But this is a Coco Miguel Disney Day of the Dead figure, and Goodwill had him priced at about $3.59, and he was going for on eBay for about $20. So not enough there for me just because I don't have great experience with plush, but maybe some of y'all would take a chance on him, and he was in good shape. I just don't know if used versus new makes a big difference on selling plush. Next item I got really excited about until I actually tested it out, but it's a Woody doll, just like the movie. It had the string and the Andy written on the bottom, and it was actually in really good shape. But unfortunately, I'll actually play the live audio for you here in a second. You can hear that there's something just ain't right with the speakers, and I can fix a lot of things, but something like that I really wasn't sure I could fix. So as you can tell, definitely wasn't going to be sellable in that condition. So another thing to be on the lookout for when you're out hunting for stuff to resell is anything in the original box, especially older stuff. So this is a power box dock for the iPod, and like I said, it's $3 here at Goodwill, but at the garage sale, people are just happy to get rid of this stuff for $1, and you can make some pretty good profit on things like this in the original box. This next clip is just a couple of tips to help y'all avoid mistakes. So the first one here, to lower your risk when you take a shot of something, just make sure there's more than one sale on it, unless there's just a huge price discrepancy where you're willing to take the risk. You can see here Humpty Dumpty little planner only had one sale, so I quickly moved on. And the second thing is just make sure the item you scan, whatever it pulls up, is actually your item. So this little baby cheetah here, you can see could either go for about $9 or it could go for about $50 based on where it was made and what it actually is. So something to look at before you buy something and spend your money. So something I've been having some recent success here with on my store is just these random little figurines. They're really easy to ship, so I like that. But this was a 1980s Olympics bear, and I'm a big Olympics fan myself. So when I took the picture of him, I was pretty happy to see he was going for around $25 to $30 and had plenty of sales on him to be confident that I'll be able to move him if he's the right price. So when I flip him over here, Goodwill had him for about $199, so something definitely I'm happy to see make quite a bit of money back on. So saving one of the best items for last is actually a sewing machine. And I actually know a little bit about sewing because my wife loves to sew. So I kind of have an idea of what brands are actually pretty good and what are probably not worth your time. But this is actually an old Sears model, a Kenmore Model 385. And you can see there it's going for $10.85 here at Goodwill. And one good thing about this, it actually has the foot pedal here that you'll see in a second when I turn it around. So that helps your value as well. But when I look at the comps of this thing's going from around 125 to 170, and I've actually even saw one as high as $300. Now I don't think I'll get $300 out of it, but still really nice pickup for $10. So that is it for this video. I just want to thank you for watching all the way to the end. If you enjoyed it, please smash that like button. Leave me a comment below. You know, what was your favorite tip I shared with you, and what was the favorite thing that I picked up today? If you're a reseller as well, good luck out there and happy flipping.